It's a battle of really the last two of just about everything. Two of the three Ballon d'Or winners of the 2010s. But if we go on the broader scale of things, it's the last two runners up in the FIFA World Cup. Welcome in to State of Soccer's live stream of the FIFA World Cup semifinals between Argentina and Croatia. Josh Sperber and Gormy here with you to give you the play-by-play action. And if you break this down by teams, it really all kind of boils down to the number 10s here. Let's start by talking about the matchups between Lionel Messi and Luka Modric, the two most decorated players in the history of these two countries.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lionel Messi, I mean, what else is there for the guy to do besides win a World Cup? I mean, this dude has literally done everything at club level, and all that he has left to do is bring home a World Cup to Argentina. And Luka Modric, I mean, he's been absolutely phenomenal. So is Croatia. So, I mean, Croatia, they are not wanting to go home, and this is going to be one heck of a battle.
Yeah, it was something that we were talking about before the stream started. It just seems like every match goes to penalty kicks for Croatia, and it seems to be working out because their goalkeeper has been an absolute brick wall. Dominik Livakovic leading the World Cup with 12 saves so far.
Yeah, he's been absolutely insane. I mean, he's been a player at club level that quite a few smaller clubs have been interested in, whether it be the Premier League or the Bundesliga. But now I think the whole world is definitely on notice that Dominik Livakovic is the real deal.
Yeah, there are just four goalkeepers who did what he did in the last feat his last match. 4 saves in the penalty shootout, but of course, the last person to do that was Daniel Subasic, who was the goalkeeper for the runners-up in the last World Cup.
I mean, with the way, I mean, maybe Croatia are now starting to become a goalkeeper factory, to where they're producing goalkeepers that are those clutch guys that you definitely want in instances where you do go to pens, and they're the ones that win it for you.
And Argentina, though, going to be a hard team to beat. So, I mean, obviously, Lionel Messi is the focal point of that team. He's really just the centerpiece of not just Argentinian soccer, but really Latin American soccer and South American soccer. I mean,
absolutely.
It's hard to think of the game of soccer over the last 10, 15 years without mentioning Lionel Messi. And he is captaining this Argentinian side once again, tied second most World Cup matches in the history of the competition.
I mean, he's been absolutely unbelievable, but he does have what I think is probably his best supporting cast in a long while, to where he has depth in all areas of the team, and they have a very, very good goalkeeper as well. So I think it might come down to these goalkeepers on who goes through to the World Cup final today, because I mean, everyone is going to be on their A game, or you hope that everyone is on their A game to be able to produce one of the best matches of the tournament. But I definitely think it'll come down to Mr. Martinez and Livakovic on who has the final say on who goes through.
Martinez has been no slouch in penalty shootouts as well. We'll definitely get into that a bit later on. But I want to first take a look at the supporting cast of Lionel Messi and the Argentinian lineup. You don't expect to see this many changes this late in the game, Gormy, but with the depth that Argentina has, it's easy to see why their manager can make so many changes this late in the game. What are your thoughts on the starting 11?
I mean, the starting 11 is definitely interesting because, I mean, we spoke about it prior to going live. I definitely think that players like Angel Di Maria, I mean, he's a big-time player. Juan Foyth has been very, very good at club level for Villarreal. Paulo Dybala, another great big-time player, and you have depth like that to bring off the bench. It's kind of a little bit unfair. I mean, with the starting lineup, though, you have Mr. Julian Alvarez, who I definitely think is going to be the future of that attack for Argentina. You have the veteran defenders in Otamendi and Tagliafico as well back there. And Mr. Alexis McAllister, he's had a pretty solid tournament, I think, in my opinion. And I really like what he does for Brighton as well in the Premier League. So looking at the starting 11, this is a very strong one. Are there some players I could definitely see coming on in the second half that will make them even stronger? Absolutely.
And keep in mind that part of the reason that you see some of these changes, Gonzalo Martiel and Marcos Acuna, the fullback duo who plays together on Sevilla as well, are two guys that will not see time in this match due to yellow card accumulation, but they could see time in the final if Argentina were to advance to its second World Cup final under Lionel Messi. And now let's take a look at the Croatian starting lineup. Obviously, Luka Modric, the centerpiece of that attack, the captain. He's played all but about half an hour in this World Cup. He has been an absolute Iron Man, and a pretty similar looking lineup for the Croatian side.
Yeah, and I mean, what one thing that you can definitely tell is a difference immediately is the depth on the bench. Croatia does not have the depth that Argentina does, but you look at this starting 11 for Croatia, this is a very, very good 11. And their midfield is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, you have players like Brozovic, Pasalic, and Modric in the midfield. They're all absolute ballers. You then have players like Kovacic there as well. But in defense, a young center back that is really starting to be putting big time clubs on notice. And Josko Vargil, he is very solid as well. So this starting 11, I mean, they're in the semifinals for the World Cup for a reason. And this team is very, very good.
Yeah, two different teams in terms of the way they use their depth. Croatia, obviously, a bit more reliant on that starting 11, but I mean, why wouldn't you be? And it's the Croatian midfield that has been their focus, and that's kind of two different ways that these teams build things up. It's Modric at the center for Croatia, Messi at the center, obviously more of an attacker for Argentina. But I mean, let's talk more about that Croatian midfield that has been just a juggernaut in international soccer for so long.
Yeah, I mean, they're the heartbeat of the side. I mean, in my opinion, I think that the midfield is probably the strongest point that you need in a side for your team to succeed. And that is why Croatia have been so good. I mean, like I mentioned, Modric, Brozovic, Pasalic, you got Kovacic as well. I mean, they're just absolutely unbelievable. And some players that you can bring off the bench that are pretty solid as well. I mean, Orsic, he can play on the wings, but he can also play as a center attacking mid if need be. So, I mean, they have that quality there, and it is a very good side.
And you have guys that were big pieces in that 2018 team, like Vida, the center back, and Nikola Vlasic, not as big a piece in 2018, but still there's some guys to go to off the bench for Croatia as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Myers, another one, and Mr. Barisic, who plays for Rangers. He always does a job for them. And when he has come on as a sub for Croatia, he has done a pretty solid job there as well.
And yeah, I mean, Ante Rebic, a guy that has been missing from this Croatian side as well. But you have Ivan Perisic, who is still a staple in this Croatian team. Another guy who has been one of the better players in international soccer for some time. But he doesn't. I don't think he gets the accolades that you give to Modric and Rakitic when he was in the side, and now Brozovic, Kovacic, and everyone of that ilk in the Croatian midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Susic is another up and coming one that is a very, very solid player as well. That they do have some solid players for the future. So it's not like being that this Croatia side is older, they do have players that are coming through that are still going to bring a very high level of quality to this side once Modric and Brozovic and those likes are eventually retired from the game.
Yeah, something of a golden generation for Croatia. A lot of focus on the Belgian golden generation being knocked out, but Croatia's golden generation could get another chance at the World Cup final. And Gormy, for each side to win this game, obviously something needs to click. Let's start with Argentina. What do you think needs to happen for Lionel Messi to go to his second World Cup final?
Everyone else has to contribute. It can't be a Messi show. I mean, recently it has been. You do get those flashes of brilliance from other players, but you need everyone to show up today for Argentina to go through. That is what they're going to need, because I mean, when they were playing last week against the Netherlands, it showed that Messi cannot do everything, because the Netherlands got back into it and Messi did all he could and it went to pens, and luckily they won. But everyone in that Argentinian side is going to have to be on their A game today for them to have a chance of going through.
And I think the fouls also need to be fixed. Obviously,
Oh, yeah.
we mentioned the two fullbacks who have been starting for almost the entirety of this World Cup in Marcos Acuna, Gonzalo Montiel, both out due to yellow card accumulation. Those are just two of the 7 yellow cards that Argentina received in that quarterfinal match.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a absolute mess when that was occurring, because I think it was a total of 13 yellow cards during the game. And I mean, it was absolutely wild. So that is definitely something that they'll need to keep in check, be more disciplined this match. And if everyone can be on their A game, like I said, they definitely have a chance of going through.
And for Croatia, obviously, we've talked a lot about Livakovic, talked a lot about the strength of that middle three with Modric, Brozovic, and Kovacic. For Croatia, what are the keys to advancing to the World Cup final for the second straight World Cup?
They're going to have to be solid defensively, because, I mean, Argentina, they are very, very strong up front. In Croatia, they are as well. Kramaric, he's able to slide it home whenever he feels like it. But, I mean, you're definitely going to have to be very strong in the back. Not necessarily park the bus and try and hope for extra time and pens again like it seems they have been doing. But they definitely are going to have to be very strong in the back. If they can win this 1-0, I mean, everyone in that country is going to be absolutely ecstatic.
I mean, a win will be a win for either side. Obviously, just one team can advance, and we'll see which does here. A 4-4-2 for Argentina, a 4-3-3 for Croatia. More of a holding kind of show to that formation for the Croatian side to try and combat that strong Argentinian attack.
Absolutely. And I mean, we're definitely going to see them switch it up probably come the second half. If someone is up, that is, they will probably switch something up come the second half. And I think that the side to do so will probably be Argentina, because if they are up come the second half, they're definitely going to want to go defensive. But if they are behind, they're definitely going to throw everything they possibly have. I would not be surprised if you see 4 up front for Argentina if they are down going into the second half.
And we are underway. Croatia getting the first kick in their navy blue away jerseys, checkered light blue and navy blue on the sleeves for the defending World Cup runners-up. The last 2 Golden Ball winners are underway here. The starting lineups for Croatia. You saw the graphic. Dominik Livakovic in goal. Josko Gvardiol, Dejan Lovren in the center of the park, with Borna Sosa and Josip Juranovic as the 2 fullbacks for the Croatian side. In the midfield, as we talked about, some of the most dominant midfield in Luka Modric and Mateo Kovacic, which with Marcelo Brozovic as the holding midfielder, and Andrej Kramaric, the striker, Ivan Perisic, and Mario Pulisic flanking him on the wings. A minute has gone by, still scoreless thus far in the first of 2 World Cup semi-finals. France and Morocco will play at 9 a.m. Eastern Time in tomorrow's match. For the Argentinian side, the 4-4-2 formation begins with Lionel Messi and the wonder kid and Julian Alvarez, Man City's new signing, up front. Rodrigo de Paul and Alexis McAllister, the attacking midfielders, Leandro Paredes and Enzo Fernandez, the holding midfielders. Nicolas Tagliafico and Nahuel Molina flanking Nicolas Otamendi and Christian Romero in the Argentinian defense. It's Argentina coming up the right side, across towards the middle, goes harmlessly across the face of the goal, and will roll out of bounds. Croatia will get possession. On the attack for Argentina there was the fullback in Molina. Maybe a throw-in for Croatia in the 3rd minute of this contest. Pulisic awaiting reception. Long throw towards midfield. Argentina controls. And they're back with their defense. Romero will get possession.
Romero's been such a solid center back for Tottenham this season.
He's been a guy who really came on towards the end of last season and has emerged himself as one of the better fullbacks, not just in the Premier League, but maybe even in the world. And there's a lot of that on the Argentinian side. You look at the guy on the bench in Lisandro Martinez as well.
Mm-hmm. Everyone was making fun of his height originally when he moved to the Prem and saying, oh, he is definitely not going to be able to cope with the likes of Erling Haaland and Harry Kane. I'd say he has proven people wrong for sure. Yes, the first meeting against Erling Haaland did not go as planned, but he has definitely been doing very, very well for Man United so far.
He's been really keeping them in a whole lot of games. As you have Livakovic, the goalkeeper, making his first stop. Will go down as a save on the scorecard, but he gets the job done. Still scoreless through 3.5 minutes as Romero knocks it off of Kramaric towards the end of the line.
One player that I think will definitely have to have a major impact in today's match for Argentina is Mr. Enzo Fernandez. A lot is expected of this kid now because of how good he has looked in Europe for Benfica. But, I mean, he's also looked pretty darn solid for Argentina here at this World Cup.
And he's really been the driving force of that midfield so far, which has stayed pretty constant. But Fernandez, I think, has been the best of the middies for Argentina. Modric controls now, sends it forward to Perisic as Croatia's on the attack, across towards the center, scooped up by Emi Martinez.
Martinez is going to get that all day, every day. I mean, the dude's an absolute giant. I don't think people realize how big he is. He is an absolute giant.
Martinez, an Aston Villa man. And, yeah, I mean, it's hard to show how big he looks compared to soccer players, which are usually a bit smaller, but the 30-year-old, 6'5", 192 pounds, which kind of seems light. I mean, he just looks a lot bigger than 192, a really sturdy man in net for Argentina. And that was part of the issue for Argentina against Croatia when they last met in the group stage of 2018. But the goalkeeping,
he is an absolute unit.
Sure, you remember Willy Caballero making a big error that allowed the first goal for Croatia in a match they won 3-0 as a long ball in goes wide. Rodrigo de Paul on the service.
And thinking back 4 years ago, Martinez was nowhere near being the starter. And then they have this recent Copa America and everything changes. That was his coming out party to where everyone now knows, all right, Emi Martinez is absolutely unreal.
And Croatia playing deep in their defensive third with Argentina applying heavy pressure. And the attack-minded Argentinian team, that has really been the mindset. Just keep pressure on offense and defense. Foul called on Croatia. Pulisic, the offender, tripping up Tagliafico.
Very high energy so far.
And you usually see a lot more conservative play. I think that's a big difference between these two sides. Croatia plays a lot more conservatively, a lot more passing, and Argentina very controlled, but as you said, Gormy, high energy and a heavy emphasis on the attack.
Yeah, Croatia more so. They seem like they like to play a little defensive, like the game let the game come to them type deal. But I mean, they really focus on keeping possession. They want to lull the opponent to sleep and then strike when the opportunity arises. And that's what they did to Canada. That they tore them apart once they were able to do that.
Zlatko Dalic, the manager for Croatia, 32 wins, 17 losses, and 18 draws as the head man for this Croatian side. 2018 runners-up, a 4-2 loss to France. That won France their second World Cup. Ball goes all the way back in the defensive half for Croatia. Livakovic will clear it out. Sosa has it knocked away by DePaul, and Croatia's back line will control once again.
Borna Sosa, another player that I think is putting some not bigger clubs, but just clubs on notice that he is a player that can come in and do a job, because Stuttgart, that is his main club in the Bundesliga, they aren't having the greatest time right now. And I definitely think that if he is wanting a move, this is definitely helping his chances.
And you always see a host of just big moves in the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And there really hasn't been a guy like a James Rodriguez or a Keylor Navas who has completely just taken over in terms of, forcing these big teams to make a big move.
Yep.
But
Alexis Sanchez as well.
Croatian team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Livakovic, I know a guy that you certainly think is going to take a big payday and make a move to a major club after the end of this World Cup.
Because, I mean, that's a position that a lot of clubs, a lot of fans of clubs especially, are very hard on, and they want the best of the best. He's proving he is up there with the best of the best. And I think that with some clubs that unfortunately are having injury problems when it comes to their keepers or have some older keepers, I think now is the time for clubs to definitely think, okay, is Livakovic going to be our man for the future? Because I believe he is only 26, and I definitely think that he is someone that a club can bank on to win them games single-handedly.
And Livakovic currently one of the netminders for Dinamo Zagreb, the top team in Croatia, and have been for quite some time.
Mm-hmm. They have produced quite a few of these players that you guys see today playing in this match.
11 saves in that quarterfinal against Brazil, most since Tim Howard against Belgium in the first round of the knockout stages back in 2014. Croatia playing through the back once again. Livakovic comes all the way out to make the reception. And this has certainly been the MO for the Croatian side, playing through their defense, as that is sent up towards the midfield. Perisic and Kovacic coming back a little bit as Kovacic sends it back to Brozovic. And he's a guy who can really slot in as a center back, the number 6 for Inter Milan. Strong defensive midfielder.
Very solid player. An integral piece of that Inter Milan side that ended up winning the Serie A now 2 seasons ago.
Perisic sends it back now as Modric coming back on the reception. Perisic again takes it from Sosa back in the center of the park. The last 2 runners up. Argentina losing to Germany thanks to Mario Götze in extra time. And Croatia, a 4-2 loss in regulation to France, who were the champions in the last World Cup. That slid and tackled out of bounds, knocked away by Romero. And Croatia now controls deep in Argentina's attacking third. Perisic on the throw-in. He sends it back, and Croatia sends it back towards their back line. Josko Gvardiol in control.
Very solid player.
Now Sosa again.
He's definitely going to be getting a move to the Prem. If not the Prem, the likes of Real Madrid or Bayern Munich.
Croatia now moving a lot of people forward. That back line coming well above midfield as Gvardiol controls again. The masked man chips it forwards to Perisic, but it's taken away, and now Argentina will go on the attack. Messi's had a pretty quiet game so far as he's tripped up there by Croatian talisman Luka Modric. Correction, that was Mac McAllister. As Modric drawing the foul. No card shown, but Argentina in control. That's something Croatia's done well so far, and kind of take Messi out of the equation. Very early on, still in the 13th minute, but we have not seen a lot of possession from Argentina, and namely their number 10 in Lionel Messi.
I mean, looking at how Croatia are kind of inviting them into their half right now, I mean, they have 8 people back. It is absolutely absurd how just they lock things down. They are very, very good defensively. Hence
Messi,
why they're at the stage they are.
Messi fell into that trap, tripped up right in front of the box, but no foul called as Croatia controls. They have the lion's share of possession so far. Fourteenth minute. And Gvardiol controls on the left side of the pitch. Croatia playing heavily into its back line. As now Brozovic will send one forward. Long ball ahead, streaking down the right side, but knocked away by Argentina. And it was Pulisic on the reception.
Former Chelsea wonder boy he was, but unfortunately things were not meant to be. Big time influential player now, though, for Atalanta.
Now Croatia controls. They have over 50% of the possession in the first quarter of the first half. Long throw in, sent in the middle. High header by Perisic, knocked away. Bouncing off heads, and Croatia controls. But the ball squirts back towards the back line. It's Brozovic once again. Now back to Gvardiol. He has really been the starter when it comes to Croatia sending the long balls in, a tactic that Messi criticized Van Gaal of the Netherlands for doing in their 3-1 loss. Modric controlling, cutting in toward the middle. He has it stripped, but he gets it right back. Modric sends it down towards the side. Low cross, and it's deflected away. And we'll get our first corner kick of the match. Tagliafico there on the defense of the Croatian talisman.
Juranovic has been very, very good at this tournament. Did not know much about him going in, but dude is a very good playmaker. Very solid defender as well.
Short corner. Modric gets it right back, and Croatia continues their slower play. High cross sent over everyone, a bunch of heads on it, and it looks like two of Argentina's defenders have knocked together. On the replay, it seems like Romero and Otamendi collided. Trainers briefly coming out onto the field, but doesn't appear any substitution will be made for Argentina. Otamendi, former Manchester City standout. Part of that side that breached 100 points in the Premier League for the first time. Now with SL Benfica of La Liga Portugal. 17th minute, Emi Martinez will clear this on the goal kick. Sends it all the way forward, looking for Julian Alvarez, who has really come into his own in this World Cup. And now Croatia on the attack, but Argentina quick to defend, and Croatia will send back to Juranovic. Now Modric sends it forward. He has the pass intercepted, and Argentina quickly loses possession, so Croatia will slowly send the ball forward. Souza, high arcing pass that I believe was deflected, but it may just go down as mishit.
Been a big-time battle at midfield.
It'll be Argentina on the clearance. As we approach minute 18, no shots on goal yet for either side. Messi controlling on the sideline, sends it back to his defense, and Argentina will regroup, beginning with Nahuel Molina. Now sent all the way to the other side. Still in the midfield for Argentina with Fernandez. Croatia takes it away. And defensive midfield really pinching is Kramaric in the middle of three Argentinian defenders. He has it taken away, but is knocked down in the process. It was Kovacic who ended up going to ground, and Romero, who was the primary fouler. Rodrigo de Paul, or Leandro Paredes, in there as well.
This midfield for Croatia is just absolutely phenomenal. They aren't, yes, Luka Modric is a household name, but not so much with everyone else, and they just absolutely dictate everything with this Croatian side.
Approaching minute 20, still without a shot on goal here, as it does seem that the Croatian midfield running the show, but it's Argentina who ends up with possession. Back with Otamendi. Now to Paredes. To Otamendi. Slowly bringing it up. Tagliafico now on the left side of the pitch. Place switched for Molina. He's chasing it, but it's controlled by Croatia. Kovacic sends it forward to Perisic, patrolling the left side. Now Souza, as Croatia will slow things up. Croatia still with their lulling to sleep tactic. Really just keeping the ball on a string and keeping Argentina, I don't know why I keep saying it like that. Keeping Argentina chasing. We have breached minute number 20 of the first semifinal. Argentina in control now. They get it deflected. Ball goes out of bounds, and they'll try and push the attack. Molina's in on the throw-in, looking for Messi initially, and Julian Alvarez tried to make a run.
Very good youngster for Argentina. He is definitely the future of that attack. Him and Lautaro Martinez.
And both of them seem to be the present, as they have been alternating as the strikers alongside Lionel Messi for the duration of this tournament, each with a couple of goals. As Alvarez coming into his own in Manchester City as well, replacing Gabriel Jesus, the replacement for Sergio Aguero, his fellow countryman. Messi on the attack now, sending the ball in, and it's taken away. Ball's deflecting around. Croatia looking to push the attack. Here's Kovacic outrunning the Argentinian defense. but it's knocked away from him, and Otamendi gets it back for Argentina. Blue and white side, quickly sending it forward with Messi, escaping everyone, as the magic man does. Messi really playing freely positioning-wise as he's into the attacking box now, and it's knocked out of bounds for a goal kick.
I'm pretty sure they're just letting Messi have free roam, trying to get him to be as creative as possible, as dangerous as possible. Kind of like how he was in the previous match against the Netherlands with that amazing pass that he had.
And yeah, I mean, I think the formation is really just a suggestion for Lionel Messi, especially with Argentina. He certainly just goes wherever he pleases.
Yeah, there's no rules for Messi. Messi's Messi. He gets to do whatever he wants.
There have been very few players, I think, that we've seen in soccer that can control the ball as well as Lionel Messi does. It just seems to be a part of him.
He had two players on him earlier, and it was just like, okay, no one's going to get the ball off of him. His ball control is unbelievable. Yes, he may be small in stature, but his will and skill is unmatched.
And many people think that a World Cup here would solidify him and dethrone Pele, Maradona, wherever you stand in that debate. But many think a World Cup here would crown Messi the greatest of all time. Some people think he's already there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, him, CR7, those are two of the best to ever do it. We're lucky to have been alive during the time and witness what both of them have brought to the table. Both, more so Messi being the one club man, whereas Ronaldo has brought his talents to multiple different areas of Europe. And I mean, that the true test was for Ronaldo. Could he do it outside of the Premier League, outside of La Liga? He goes to the Serie A and does it again. At the age of 37, was Man United's top goal scorer last season. Whereas Messi, his first season outside of Barcelona, struggled, but now he is a demigod once again.
17 goals and 16 assists across all competitions in this 2022-2023 campaign. Argentina on the attack. McAllister, long distance shot and a save by Livakovic. First shot on goal attempt is knocked away by the Croatian wall.
That definitely needs to be his nickname. that definitely needs to be it.
I really don't see anything else. I mean, he is. if you make double-digit saves in a soccer match against a team like Brazil, no less, I think you earned that title.
Absolutely.
Searching ball through the middle, squirts all the way back to Emi Martinez. Alexis McAllister, who is really kind of a family name, his father on the 1986 championship team, led by Diego Maradona. And now he trying to win a World Cup of his own with Lionel Messi.
Funny how both of them get to play with absolute legends of the game.
Juranovic chasing the ball and saving it before it goes out of bounds. The FC Celtic man ends up getting the save, but now Argentina controls possession. Messi deep in the midfield. 2 on him, and it's taken away. Great ball skills by Kovacic.
That was unbelievable.
And a foul called should be against Argentina as Kramaric goes down to the ground. Tagliafico, the closest man to him, replay shows, stepped on the heel of the Croatian striker. And replay shows just the whirling dervish of Mateo Kovacic. What a move.
I've always
Enzo
known that kid's
Fernandez,
class. He's absolute class, but I did not know he had that in his bag of tricks.
really an underrated player. Came up in the Real Madrid system. Now a fixture in the middle of the park for Chelsea and Croatia as we get a free kick attempt. Perisic and Modric standing over for Croatia. Around 30 yards out in their best shot opportunity of the game so far. 27 minutes have gone by, still scoreless. Enzo Fernandez's shot 2 minutes ago, the only attempt on goal for either side. Modric looking to change that, and it's Souza who steps forward. It'll be Modric, sends the ball in, headed away easily as the free kick attempt comes to no avail. Argentina trying to escape, and they do so successfully. Otamendi sends it up, now going through the right side. Long cross to switch the play, searching to the left, and that is headed away. And Perisic will control. Alvarez, the intended target on that long pass, and it goes out of bounds for Croatia. Argentina in control. Messi encircled by Croatian defenders as the Argentinian back line passing it around a sea of navy jerseys. Ball sent in, but going a bit too far. McAllister, the intended target. A goal kick for Livakovic. Tagliafico on the service as we approach minute number 29.
Tagliafico's always been a pretty good playmaker. Sometimes a goal scorer, especially during his days at Ajax, but now he plays for Olympic Lyon after a summer raid of Ajax once Erik ten Hag left.
Which is to be expected.
Absolutely.
Ajax voted, I believe it was by The Guardian, to be the top training club among World Cup teams. And you
I
look
would
at some of the
100%
talent.
believe it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at some of the talent just in this World Cup. Frankie de Jong was on that side with Tagliafico that made it to the Champions League finals a couple of years ago.
Semi-final.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I wanted them.
Tottenham somehow figured out how to play football for a day.
Yeah, they did it against Manchester City, that tournament too. They just had some extra time heroics in that Champions League, but then fell flat in the final against Liverpool.
Luckily for me, a Liverpool fan.
Well, we'll keep the conversation to international football then, because I'm more of a Man City guy myself. 30 minutes have gone by. We are still scoreless. Croatia controls. Brozovic sends it back. Now all the way back with Juranovic. Flips to Souza. And Souza being chased now, so he'll send it back to Livakovic.
Argentina being very aggressive right now.
You at least have one guy kind of stringing and applying heavy pressure, with Croatia really playing it from the back. And now Modric's trying to push the tempo. He sends a ball forward. Now to Pulisic. Now Kovacic. All the way to Perisic alone on the left side. Looking to make a move in. Chips a shot over everyone and over the net. Perisic looking for a call from the head referee. As we'll take a look at the replay on the World Cup monitor. Not sure what he was looking for there, but Perisic just chipping it over everyone.
Very gutsy chip. Pretty far out. 2 men on him. If he had pulled that off, that would have been an absolute wonder goal.
Oh, it would have been. A long ball going ahead. Fernandez chipping it forward, and it's knocked away. Taken out of the net by Dejan Lovren. And a yellow card will be shown to Lovren now, as it's Alvarez down on the pitch.
Yeah, Livakovic with the yellow.
I thought it was Lovren that was shown to initially, but Livakovic, who is
Now
down
Kovacic.
on the ground now. And now Kovacic getting a yellow card. We'll take a look at the replay. Hard to see what happened in such a quick change of possession. A nice pass to Alvarez, and it was Livakovic who collided with Julian Alvarez.
I mean, thinking about it, what is Livakovic? He can't get out of the way.
And that's going to be a penalty for Argentina. I don't agree with that, though. It was one-on-one. Alvarez just seemed to run right into Livakovic.
Yeah, I mean, Livakovic, he can't move. Alvarez can't move. They're both trying to get the ball. I mean, Alvarez trying to chip him. I think that's a bit harsh. But, I mean, it's a very high pressure situation. And obviously, the ref feels very strong about this as he gave Livakovic yellow and Mateo Kovacic yellow.
So Lionel Messi will get the penalty kick attempt. 4 PK save by Livakovic against Brazil. Messi's already scored a couple this tournament. Missed one, though, in the third match of the group stage against Mexico.
And Emi Martinez cannot watch. He is looking the other way.
All eyes on Lionel Messi. The captain sends it in. Goal for Argentina, and they take a lead in the 34th minute. And who else but Lionel Messi? 11th goal in his 25th World Cup match, and Argentina has a first-half lead.
Plenty of time for Croatia to get something from this first half still. But if they do not, they're going to have to really figure out what their plan is in the second half. Because being that Argentina now have the lead, they will probably look to defend big time from probably about the 70th minute onwards in the second half if they still hold this lead.
Yeah, we could see a less pressure from Argentina, and that could be exactly what the doctor ordered for Croatia with how slowly they've been trying to play this game.
I'll be right back. My cats are fighting.
Well, for those who are sticking with us, 35th minute now. He has now 11 World Cup goals. No Argentinian man has scored more in the World Cup. Something else to add to Lionel Messi's mantle. A man who we may call the greatest of all time, possibly now, but with the argument that he will be, there will be no other option but to crown him at the end of this World Cup. Definitely want to hear what you guys think. Make sure to interact in the comments. We do have a couple of people who have mentioned some interesting points. Rami Shariag made a nice point about Croatia. If they can make it to back-to-back finals, that would be incredibly impressive. I think I agree with
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. I mean, people would have to take them more seriously as a footballing nation. I mean, I'm not saying that people don't. I mean, they have one of the previous couple of Ballon d'Or winners in Luka Modric. But, I mean, their league is kind of a one-team league with Dinamo Zagreb just absolutely dominating constantly. But looking at this side and what they have accomplished in, I'd say, a 8-year span, they have been absolutely unbelievable.
And people were talking about some of the favorites for the World Cup this year. You mentioned the classics, your France, Portugal, Argentina, Brazil, but the runner-up of 2018 was largely left out of that conversation.
Yeah, they were more so a dark horse type team, and they lived up to it. I mean, they're here in the semis, and I mean, speaking on tomorrow's match, I don't think anyone had Morocco being in the semifinal. I don't think a single person did.
I think the only one who had, but also had every African nation advancing into the knockout stages. Though the one correct part of his bracket was a France versus Morocco semifinal.
Yep.
Now it's Croatia, who we'll see a lot more attack from. Kramaric has his pass deflected, but it gets on the end of Perisic. Now Souza. Souza looking for the low cross, headed away, but Croatia controls again. Kovacic bringing it forward. Brozovic has it taken away. Modric fights back for it. Lovren. Now to Juranovic. A cross in, goes nowhere. And McAllister might have deflected that. And it looks like it'll be a corner kick for Croatia.
And you look at the experience in this Croatian side with Perisic, Lovren, Modric. They have all won things. They are all very, very skilled players. They definitely have what it takes to get to a World Cup final. And being that they still have, 7 minutes before halftime, plus they'll have a little bit of added on time, they have what it takes to level this.
And Argentina coming on the attack here. Here's Alvarez flanked by defenders, and he gets it in. Julian Alvarez takes it up the pitch himself, and just like that, Argentina's got a second goal.
And just like that, Gourmet takes back everything he said. Dude, I was watching him run through, and I'm like, no way. He still has this ball.
I am speechless. I don't know how he kept control.
That was unreal.
Defenders around him. Five minutes after the penalty, Julian Alvarez, the wonder boy for Argentina, takes it all the way back after the corner kick. He had it from just about midfield, and he just did not let go.
That ball wanted to go in the net. Like it just. Hopefully Pep Guardiola's watching and is maybe thinking, maybe I should play a front two of Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland.
Yeah, I know it's not something you want to see as a Liverpool fan, but
no, I mean, that would be very scary. That would be very scary.
And what a duo that could be for years to come.
I mean, Pep Guardiola has so much at his disposal with that side, and having Julian Alvarez, I mean, he just showed what type of quality he is. Very young player, very talented player.
He has a goal every 3 matches, 6 goals and 18 appearances for Argentina, 3 of them here at this World Cup for the 22-year-old.
Very good quick maths right there.
Argentina gaining a lot more possession. Now it's Messi who's going to run through the Croatian midfield. Messi goes down, but gets the cross away first. All on the left side. Now with Fernandez. Fernandez sends it towards the middle. Now DePaul, long distance shot, knocked away. It's going to go off of Croatia, and it'll be a corner kick for Argentina. DePaul clamoring for a handball.
He might have a good argument there.
Tough to see with that first.
I think they might be getting a pen.
That could be another one.
They should definitely get a VAR.
Behind him, but it looked like he kind of lifted up. He kind of lifted up his fists, and it
he had it behind his back, and then it was like he brought it out to his side.
Doesn't look like they're going to point to VAR just yet.
No.
And it seems like the head referee is directing the corner kick rather than directing towards the VAR. Messi on the corner, 42nd minute, 2-0 Argentina. Outswinging ball, almost deflected in.
Amazing save.
I don't know how Livakovic got a hand on that. And he almost knocked that right off of his defender and right back in. Juranovic was there. It hit off of his leg after McAllister's header. But a fantastic save by Livakovic to send Messi towards the other side.
You have a 6'5" goalkeeper at one end and a 6'6" at the other. The agility for these big men is insane.
Messi will take it again. Two of the biggest keepers in terms of height at this World Cup.
None more so than the Netherlands keeper. He was like, what, 6'8"?
Yeah. I think him and Courtois are the only people who were taller than the two in this match. As it'll now be a throw-in for Argentina. Rodrigo de Paul will try and send it towards the box. They go out of bounds. Argentina been in control since the Messi penalty kick, but now Croatia will take it on the throw-in. Lovren controlling.
Croatia right now need to focus about getting out of this half without conceding another goal and then regrouping for the second half because they have a very tall order to do in the second half now, but Argentina is going to make darn sure that they do not allow what happened against the Netherlands to happen again.
Well, you read my mind, Gormy. Argentina had a 2-0 lead. The Netherlands, a late comeback, including an equalizer at the death from Wout Weghorst to send that into penalty kicks.
He played, what, 12 minutes and had a brace?
Something like that.
Dude was unreal. Was always a solid player for Wolfsburg. Got his move to Burnley once Burnley lost Chris Wood to Newcastle. And being that Burnley cannot save themselves from relegation, he now finds himself playing for Besiktas in Turkey.
Modric, long-distance shot, clangs off the Argentinian wall. Juranovic sends it in, and off the outside of the net.
Oh, my word.
Pulisic was the last man to touch it on a sneaky little cross. And Hasalik, I thought he had himself a goal already. And Emi Martinez coming up big for Argentina. We should see added time come up any minute now.
It can't be too much.
They have been trying to add more extra time in these World Cup matches.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
I kind of like that rule. I think it makes it a lot more exciting. And it'll be 4 minutes of added time, double what you usually see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they're taking everything and doubling it. Because I in my mind, I thought, okay, with the stoppages and everything that's happened in the cards and whatnot, 2 minutes I thought would be fair. 4, yeah. I mean, I guess so.
And I think it increases. It just adds to the tension at the end of half. Definitely want to hear what you guys think in the comments. Some fans on both sides here, but I think that it helps. I mean, I remember particularly that USA-Iran match when United States was defending for their lives. Iran
Oh,
was
yeah.
sending everything towards the goal. I was on the edge of my seat, hyperventilating, and I was commentating that match for State of Soccer here.
I don't blame you. It was a very, very stressful group stage experience for the U.S.
U.S. losing to Netherlands, who then lost to Argentina in the last round as Tagliafico sends it forward. Here is Julian Alvarez, who had the spectacular solo goal that put Argentina up 2-0.
I felt personally whoever won that Netherlands-Argentina match probably going to go to the final. Right now, Argentina are proving me right. I hope Croatia has some fight in them in the second half, because I think it would be amazing if Croatia got to a second World Cup final in a row.
Croatia controlling their last chance at attack with about a minute and a half left. Here's Kramaric cutting towards the middle, spinning Otamendi around, sending it to Perisic. Perisic, the cross, miss-hit, and it goes on the outside of the net for a goal kick.
The finish from Alvarez on that goal was just world class. To be able to keep the control consistently, absolutely unreal. And they just showed Ronaldinho giving him a round of applause. I mean, rightfully so. That was absolute class what he did.
And if a solo goal artist applauds you for one of yours, obviously Alvarez doesn't know that now, but
yeah, he doesn't know it now, but afterwards he's going to be like, oh my God, I did something right.
I've been saying since 2014 that Gareth Bale solo goal in the Copa del Rey for Real Madrid was the greatest solo goal I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
We may have a new champion.
Yeah, that was unreal.
That was something else.
How he kept I don't know. It was a beautiful goal.
Speed versus control in those two. Definitely want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. We have Giuseppe D'Angelo and Sean McIntyre as vocal fans for each team.
As Sean McIntyre said, he put his house on Croatia.
And Giuseppe says it's going to be Argentina by a score of 4-0. They already have two in the first half as Messi's fouled by Brozovic. But that will be the last action of this first half. 2 goals for Argentina. A Messi penalty and a Julian Alvarez worldie within 5 minutes of each other. 2-0 the score. Argentina leads Croatia in the semifinals of this World Cup. We've got plenty more soccer to go through, though. Keep it locked on State of Soccer for our watch along here on YouTube. It has been quite a whirlwind of a match. Not much going on until the later stages, but Argentina leads 2-0 over the World Cup finalist from 2018, Josh Sperber and Gormy here. And Gormy, as you're going to get back into your studio, what are your thoughts on just a wild end to that first half?
I was not expecting 2 goals to be scored that quick whatsoever. And I mean, the Julian Alvarez one, world class. Unreal. I think people are going to be seeing that for a couple weeks.
I think it's safe to call that the goal of the tournament.
The Richarlison one.
Everyone loves a good bike kick, but I mean, just at this moment and just the amount of ball control it took to get that across.
The pressure as well.
Just mind-blowing to me. Surrounded by 3 defenders, just ping-ponging off of everyone. I mean, just unbelievable.
Yeah. Was a very, very good goal. I mean, like we were saying earlier, Pep has a talent on his hands. I mean, seeing that was he was literally playing keepy uppies on his way to the net. It was unreal.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was someone who does not follow the Primera División much and didn't know too much about Alvarez except that he was the goal leader. And that coming on the heels of the Holland move surprised me a little bit. Now I'm pretty
convinced.
I'm pretty good with it. Yeah, like that's clearly a great move and a good move to put him in the starting lineup again as well.
Yeah, I knew of him through Football Manager, which is like the most complicated soccer, football game, whatever you want to call it, game out there. It's like FIFA on crack. It is like statistics and all of that. Found him through that, and I was like, oh, this kid's probably going to be pretty decent. Then I hear that he's going to move to Man City, and now we just saw him do that. So the kid is the real deal.
Yeah, definitely a vault onto the center stage for Julian Alvarez, and of course Lionel Messi getting the first goal on what I still think is a pretty controversial penalty.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on that. And obviously that is what led, that's why the second goal happened, because they knew, okay, we're up 1-0, we got to get another one. And they definitely wanted that to happen before half. And luckily enough for them, it happened. Luckily enough for them, they got the pen and what is a very, I mean, we're probably going to be able to replay it as much as we want, look at it as much as we want. What is Livakovic supposed to do? Like he can't just fall backwards. Like
the ball, he's got the ball and the player coming at him that fast. He has to protect the goal. Even if he wanted to, how could he just backpedal on a dime like that just to get away?
Yeah,
like I just don't see another option. But the collision did rule it a penalty. Definitely want to hear what you guys have to think in the comments. Appreciate you guys, particularly Rami, Sean, Giuseppe, who have been very active in the comment section. What do you think particularly about that penalty? Because that was clearly a match-defining moment. Because other than that, it was Argentina really playing on their heels, and Croatia was the team controlling.
Yeah, they were being outpossessed. I mean, defensively, Croatia was stellar. Croatia was doing everything right, and then that moment happened. So it's moments change games, and that is a massive one. I'm pretty sure if you look back at Livakovic's face, once he got up and he realized he was fine, he was like, all right, this could have just, this is going to make or break the game. And unfortunately for them right now, it has broken the game.
as you said, did lead to that other goal. Also, you can't underline the importance of a yellow card on arguably Croatia's next two best players after Luka Modric.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely tell that once he brought out the yellow on Novakovic, it's like, okay, this is going to be a pen. Then you see him give the yellow to Kovacic as well. And it's like, okay, there's going to be no review on this either. Plus, there was the other opportunity that we both thought, okay, maybe they go to VAR because this did hit Josko's hand, or about right here on his arm. So, for all we know, it could be 3-0. But I think the referee realized, okay, that was a really harsh pen that I gave. But he was convinced of himself that it was a pen. So I think he kind of let it slide on that second one. So,
I mean, for me, I feel like if I was giving a penalty on one of those two plays, it would be on that second one with Guardiola.
Yeah, because you clearly can see, because he had his arms behind his back, and then you clearly see it kind of come out a little bit. Whether he meant to do that or not, don't know. Because he, in all honesty, didn't need to. So it's interesting, to say the least.
Well, an interesting really could be the word for this match. 2-0 Argentina ahead of Croatia. And while we still have some time here at halftime, I think we should look ahead a little bit to that next match. Morocco, who has been beyond the surprise of the World Cup going against the defending champions, still yet to concede a goal. I mean,
they have conceded one, but they scored on themselves.
All right, concede a goal that wasn't an own goal.
Yeah,
why are we
an opponent
hairs here, Gormy? But I mean, I personally have not seen a whole lot of Moroccan football this World Cup. I know it's certainly been buoyed by the background. Boanu, I'm definitely butchering that pronunciation. The Moroccan goalkeeper has been Banu. I know he plays for Sevilla. I know he has been an absolute brick wall. And I know that back line led by one of my personal favorite players, Ashraf Hakimi, has been spectacular as well.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at that side, it's another kind of Croatia type deal to where they're starting 11 strong. But then you get to the bench and it's like, okay, there isn't much depth there. Croatia definitely have much more depth than they do on their bench. But playing against a squad like France, you got to pray to every single god in existence that you were able to beat them. Because France is missing 6 incredible players. And they still beat England. Which everyone thought England was, okay, not everyone. English people thought that they were going to go through and win. But, when you are able to miss the likes of Christopher Nkunku, Paul Pogba, Karim Benzema, Presnel Kimpembe, the list goes on, and you're still performing as well as you are, it's absurd.
Yeah, you lose the Ballon d'Or winner days before the first match of the World Cup, and you're telling me that they're cruising to the semifinals after that?
I know.
Unbelievable. Killing Mbappe, the current leader for the Golden Boot, and a whole lot to expect in that match. But the one we're here to cover is back on. 2-0 Argentina in the lead. We've already seen a couple of substitutions. Croatia looking to get a bit more offensive in this. Nikola Vlasic coming on for Mario Pasalic, and Mislav Orsic coming on for Borna Sosa. That second sub is a big surprise for me, Gormy, because Sosa has been all over the field in the first half.
Yeah, he's been great. You said it was Barisic that came on, right?
It was Vlasic who came on, and let me pull up.
Orsic.
Orsic comes on for Sosa. Vlasic comes on for Pasalic.
All right, with that substitute, they're playing a back three because Orsic, if he 100% has to, he can play left back or left wing back. But they're definitely playing a three in the back now. They are going for a goal, which is one reason why they brought on Vlasic, who is a pretty solid player for West Ham when he is on his A game. But not sure about that Sosa sub. I'm with you on that because I think Sosa's a quality player. Mentioned him earlier, and like you said, he's been all over the pitch. There's no. I don't know if the manager's seeing or realizing something that we aren't with how he's performed.
A free kick for Modric and Croatia now, and in my opinion, definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments as well. But in the first half, Sosa was Croatia's best player.
Yeah, he was him and Kovacic. They were unbelievable. Vargil was everywhere as well.
Modric,
which Vargil, he can play out wide, so maybe they're thinking about it that way. Yes, technically we have a back four, but at the same time, we're going to have Vargil kind of drift that wide, be that wide center back type player, as he also plays left back for RB Leipzig from time to time.
Kind of like a 3-2-4-1. I mean, some kind of crazy formation you're going to see from Croatia. I know that's something that you mentioned, that you're going to see some formation changes in the second half. And Croatia really throwing a wrench in things.
Yeah, they have it down as a 4-1-2-3.
I think that's still holdover from the first half because it's like you said, they're putting three in the back. They're keeping three in the back and pushing people up forward.
I mean, currently now, when they dropped back originally, and you see the formation, they had 5. So, I guess because Perisic
can play that left wing back role, so maybe they dropped him down there. As McAllister now fighting his way through the Croatian defense. He's down in front of the 18-yard box. Long distance shot right into the hands of Livakovic. And McAllister still down for Argentina. It was Leandro
he got kicked in the back of the head.
Yeah, it's not great.
He's up, though. He's all good.
Oh, he was asking the referees for a little help there.
R9 in attendance.
Yeah, I feel like he's been at every match. Like, everywhere I go, I'm seeing every World Cup match I've watched, or like I've seen some kind of tweet or like post about Ronaldo.
Yeah. I mean, they do have like some legends of the game, like their ambassadors for not only FIFA and whatnot, but for this World Cup. Because I know Tresket's there.
I just wish Ronaldo had that classic, what was it, 2002 World Cup haircut? Like the front of his face goatee. Like, I don't even know, front of his head goatee. I don't even know how to describe that hairdo. As we have another substitution, Marcelo Brozovic coming off for Croatia, and he will be replaced by Bruno Petkovic. Another surprising substitution.
I would not take off Brozovic, but you do you, Croatia.
Brozovic has been the number 6 for Croatia, has been so great defensively. And again, it's just another push to try and go offensive. They're putting the bare minimum in the back is Croatia.
Yeah, so they currently have 2 people back.
I feel for your house right now. Argentina in control, but they're letting Croatia keep the possession as Lovren sends it to Guardiola.
So they now have they're playing like a 2-2-6.
I mean, yeah, I can't even. I don't even think there's a name for this combination for this formation.
The mushroom. That's kind of what it looks like, or an umbrella.
Absolutely wild as Argentina now trying to weave through. Fernandez has it stripped, and Croatia will control again. Here's Vlasic. Kovacic. Now to Modric. 52nd minute. 2-0 the score. Argentina in the lead. But Croatia has been in control for almost the entirety of the second half. So, people watching, we hope you guys can get involved in the comments. Appreciate your interaction through all these watch parties. And my next question for you guys is, how safe do you think Sean McIntyre's house is? If you put his house on Croatia, and it's 2-0 at the beginning stages of the second half. So, do you think he's going to have to move? And if so, where should he move?
Not Croatia.
I think they'd welcome him. Argentina might not, though. Cross deflected away into the waiting arms of Emi Martinez. Vlasic on the service.
Like Croatia's literally just sending everybody.
Yeah, it looks like me when I play FIFA. Just the bare minimum of defense and just an absolute barrage of attack.
Ultra attacking the entire 90 minutes.
Oh yeah. I mean, granted, I just play a lot of video games, but I know I can't defend. That's just me though. 54th minute, still Croatia in control, but it's deflected out of bounds.
The right back for Argentina looks like he's about 12 years old.
Too many of these. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's the first time I think I've seen him close up. Keep in mind the two fullbacks, Acuna and Montiel, both of whom have been starting for almost the entirety of this World Cup, are on the bench, or actually not in the team due to yellow card accumulation, and still plenty of key players for Argentina riding their bench. Di Maria, Paulo Dybala, who's rarely seen action in this World Cup.
I mean, a player of that quality barely playing, mind-boggling.
It blows my mind to see how little Paulo Dybala is used in Argentina side.
Yeah, it really. I don't think he's ever been like a solidified starter his entire time. Because when Aguero played, it was Aguero and Messi, and then during that time, like when Paulo Dybala was still like younger, Ezekiel Lavezzi still played, and Di Maria. So it was those four that would be the attack. I mean, Dybala's never gotten that chance.
And even now, I mean, you have Julian Alvarez, who's really stepping up as the next face of the Argentinian attack. And I think, I mean, this is Messi's last World Cup, I believe.
Yeah, and especially if they win it. They're like, he has nothing left to prove.
Yeah. So you got to think that for the next couple of years, I mean, if they win, I think it's pretty safe to say that this is Messi's last, that a World Cup win would be Messi's last game with the Argentinian national team.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it would have to be Dybala's time to shine.
I mean, even then though, because I mean, I'm on the same wavelength as you. I would hope it would be, but you would then
And here
probably
comes
have
Argentina, another chance in the center of the
Martinez.
18-yard box. Forgive the interruption, but Argentina with a big attacking chance. Now Messi controlling, and I'll let you continue because Croatia has caught up.
It would be Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez most likely, unless they want to have an attacking mid behind them.
I mean, I could see the obviously the two strikers are pretty set for the next couple of years with Argentina, Martinez and Alvarez, but you got to think that they could put Dybala in that number 10 role that Messi is in.
100%.
Because I mean, Di Maria is a solidified 11 and one of the most underrated wingers of his generation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he's going to slot towards the center. Dybala can play just about anywhere, but I think he's best in the center of the park, kind of pulling the strings the way they've had Messi do for this entire World Cup.
Yeah.
So that could be an option.
Well, Vakovic is just next level.
Here comes Messi. He sends it towards the middle. Messi gets it back. He's got a chance and a great save by Livakovic. Seems like you're a little bit ahead of me.
Tiny bit.
There, Gormy. But Argentina still applying the pressure with their 2-0 lead. Multiple players on this side said that they would die to get Messi a World Cup final.
Which, that is very extreme. But football's extreme in South America, so.
Particularly in Argentina.
Yep. There, Colombia and Brazil.
Yep. This Argentinian side, though, certainly not letting up. Croatia ratcheting up their attack here as Vlasic has it on the wing. Sends the cross in. Kramaric controls. Knocked away. Now Kovacic.
Which, that's a question I got for you. What do you think is going to be – what do you think the future of the Colombian national team is like? Being that Radamel Falcao and Jaime Rodriguez, they're basically done.
Yeah, I mean, Falcao and Rodriguez and James have been very quiet on the international and club stages really since James's breakthrough in the 2010 World Cup or 2014 World Cup.
14, yeah.
I should know that. I was in Madrid right after he was signed. But anyway, regardless, I mean, the thing, like Colombia just has a bunch of like solid guys, but they don't have a star like they did in that 2014 side. So I mean, it's really hard to say where their future goes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where like a lot of players with the U.S. national team have talked about where the goals are going to come from with no really true number 9 on that side. I think the same can be said of Colombia.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think even goalkeeper-wise, I think literally everywhere except Davinson Sanchez.
Yeah.
But like he is the one that okay, yeah, he's going to be in that team no matter what.
Yeah, I think you can look to the MLS as well. Some Colombian talent there.
Mm-hmm.
Yimi Chara is a guy that comes to mind from Portland.
Yep.
Another young winger, but I mean, they really don't have that game-breaking, game-changing player that they did when Falcao was there, when James was there.
Yep. Juan Cuadrado as well.
Yeah, I mean, but Cuadrado's getting up there in age. He's in his 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he's playing some of the best football he's ever played, but as good as he is, he's not at the point in his career where he can take over a game offensively. He was used as a more offensive winger in 2014, but I mean, he's really been a fullback for Juventus in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they've got some work to do, to say the least.
Big time project on their hands.
Would love to hear what you guys think in the comment section as well. And wanted to give you guys, want to thank our sponsor for this stream, GOLZ, because if you haven't heard already, they have sponsored today's stream. Like YouTube, GOLZ is a video streaming platform, except they exclusively stream soccer content. Love what they're doing over there, and watch a lot of our favorite soccer content creators on that platform, which is completely free to use. So go check out GOLZ TV. That's golz.tv. Click the link underneath this video to check it out.
Definitely going to be checking that out.
Josh Sperber, Gormy here as Argentina's looking to make their first substitution. Croatia went offensive, Argentina going defensive. Lisandro Martinez will come on. The Man United's newest man. He'll take Leandro Paredes. First sub for Argentina in the 62nd.
And it's a man that we hit on earlier as well.
And Croatia had a chance on the free kick, but Martinez and a whole bunch of players in Argentina's back line knocking that potential goal away from Dejan Lovren. Kovacic trying to take it himself again, and now it's Argentina in control. McAllister is going to send it backwards as the high-octane attack from Argentina, can't really say has sputtered out, but they've certainly slowed it down. See Tagliafico pushing almost up to the left wing position. And Tagliafico's trying to make a nice run. He's got the ball open in the corner. Send it back for Alvarez, and he'll switch the play for Lisandro Martinez's first touch. Messi knocks it out of bounds, and Croatia will get the throw-in.
When Lisandro Martinez is in the right system, he is an absolute world beater.
Yeah, I mean, 5'9", yet he's been unstoppable for Manchester United, and a really solid contributor off Argentina's bench in this World Cup as well.
One of the best 1-2 punches that I think Erik ten Hag had at Ajax was Lisandro Martinez and Mr. Edson Alvarez, who I thought was probably going to go to Man United. Still might happen in January or in the summer. But those two, they just worked so well together at Ajax.
Yeah, and Ten Hag poaching a lot of players from his former team, so you never really know. Got Antony, the Brazilian winger, as well.
Who's looked very, very good at the World Cup. Has looked very, very good for Man United.
Part of just an absolutely stacked group of wingers on Brazil.
I think that's probably one of the strongest attacks I've ever had.
Oh, without question.
Unfortunately, though, it was not enough to get them over that hump that still just plagues them. Plagues Neymar, really. Because Neymar tries to do everything possible, and just constantly they come up short.
I think Neymar's a great player, and this could be kind of a harsh or a hot take. I don't know, depending on whatever you want to call it. I just don't see him as a guy who can lead a team. I think that someone else is going to have to emerge for Brazil, kind of the way that the United States took some pressure off of Pulisic by making Tyler Adams the captain. You've got to see like a Casemiro or someone like that from Brazil come in to take over the leadership, the really high pressure role.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Just do his thing, because when he's freed up, he's one of the best attackers on the planet.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, yeah, you're right. It is a hot take, but it's a very good and accurate hot take, because I mean, you think about that when there's someone as good as Neymar is, they don't need that. I don't want to call it like a burden, but that extra pressure and responsibility of also being the captain and have to do everything skill wise and creativity wise, goal scoring wise, but also leadership wise all at the same time. It's a lot of pressure.
And honestly, I think a burden is the right word for it. I mean, there are a
Mhm.
lot of extra responsibilities. You know, the guy, when you're wearing that captain armband, the guys look to you.
Yeah, and
And,
it's always an honor to be a captain,
yeah.
but I mean, there's a lot of added pressures.
And I mean, you look at the guys who really the only people you can mention with Neymar are, the Messis, Ronaldos, and Mbappes of the world. And
Zlatan Ibrahimovic when he was in his
yeah,
prime.
yeah. But Zlatan, as vocal as he was never a captain, and that
Yep.
allowed him to be one of the best goal scorers of all time.
Mhm.
Even David Villa, who I think you can put, maybe a little bias for me there,
But
being
no,
a New Yorker.
David Villa is a absolutely phenomenal
Yeah.
player.
But I think David Villa, as good as he was for New York City FC, as the captain, there was just that added pressure that he did not need.
Mhm.
A guy of his pedigree, World Cup winner, uh, everything else winner with Barcelona.
Yeah.
I mean,
There comes a
coming to New
time
York,
where some people
there was
need to
enough
just
pressure
let
on
them
him.
be them.
Yeah, and that's what I think needs to be done with Neymar in Brazil, because I think that's been part of the problem for Paris Saint-Germain. I mean,
Mhm.
they have everyone you could possibly want. They have the kind of they have a freaking FIFA Ultimate Team as their roster,
Yeah.
but they haven't been able to get over the hump. And I mean, even what was it last year they lost to Lille, or was it the year before?
Year before.
I mean,
Because last year was when they brought in Donnarumma,
yeah,
Messi, all of them.
and a team with that much talent that can't. You have to. You're expected to win everything, and with Neymar as the number 10, as the talisman, as the focal point, I just don't see a team able to go the distance.
Yeah. Because
So
I think taking pressure off, I think with the U.S. men's national team, taking that pressure off of Pulisic allowed him to do what he did.
yeah,
And Tyler Adams, for our national team, is a great leader. I think that our team does not work without him and Weston McKennie in midfield.
yeah. The
And
captain,
like
I think, is more of the
Giuseppe
engine.
said in chat,
Yeah,
some players are natural leaders, but there's a lot of politics involved with being a captain too. Sometimes people feel like, oh, it's Messi, he has to be captain.
yeah. But Messi, I think, is a natural leader, and
Oh no,
Messi.
yeah, he is.
Speaking of which,
Yeah, he
another
just
goal
scored.
for Argentina.
Yeah, he just scored. But like him, Ronaldo, but like players like I would say David Beckham, for example, with the English national team. Some people probably are like, "Oh, make Beckham captain," and it's like because he's Beckham or because he is a good leader. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So we missed the commentary here, but Messi taking a beautiful run down the right wing gives Julian Alvarez his fourth World Cup goal, sixth or seventh international goal, and second of the match. So it's been the Messi and Alvarez show that seemed to have Argentina set for the final. It was 3-0 in the group stage the last time these two teams faced each other in the World Cup. And it's 3-0 in the biggest matchup between these two teams.
How old is Messi now? 35, 36?
35, I think. He is 35.
For him to have that strength to boss off Vargil at his stature and his age is unreal.
I think a lot of people have talked about the GOAT debate. Obviously, the older heads are going to say Pele. There's still going to be some people. I don't think anyone anymore will say Maradona because Messi, with Argentina, with the
Messi
exception of
surpassed
the World
him.
Cup, with the exception of the World Cup victory, Messi's done everything Maradona's done and more.
Yeah, and that's the same thing for Pele, because Pele, you got to be realistic. Yes, the dude scored, what is it, 1,000 goals?
Yeah,
something stupid like that. He
and
was
probably had 1,000
he was
assists.
playing here in the U.S. doing that to teams that were nowhere near the levels that they are in Europe.
Yeah. And also, I mean, you look at some of the legends on those Brazilian teams with him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I would say the argument for the GOAT, for the greatest player ever, yes, Pele's up there. Yes, Maradona's up there. R9's up there. But it's between Messi and CR7. No one does what those two have done for so darn long. They have dominated the world of football throughout that time, especially in Europe. Messi has how many Ballon d'Ors? Ronaldo has how many Ballon d'Ors? Messi, creative genius, goal scoring genius. Ronaldo, probably the best natural goal scorer in history.
And I think it's safe to say that Ronaldo is the best natural scorer in history, but Messi's better at everything else. He's the most balanced player. And I'm going to do a cross.
Neither one can defend, but
they don't need to.
Yeah.
They don't need to. And I think I'm going to go across sports here, because one of my favorite cross sports comparisons that I think I've ever made is Cristiano Ronaldo and Kevin Durant.
I would say Ronaldo and Ovechkin.
I'm more of a basketball guy. You can go with Ovechkin too, because even that, I mean, honestly, hockey, now that I'm thinking about it, hockey might be even better here because
Ovi is a dominant goal scorer. Because KD will, like, he's a playmaker from time to time when he needs to be. He'll play defense when he needs to, but Ovi is straight goals. Yes, he has a decent amount of assists, just like Ronaldo does, but they are goal machines.
And I think Durant is definitely more of a goal scorer. And this is I have greater knowledge of basketball, so you can make the hockey comparison as well. And I think we can do that in a second. But basketball wise, I would say Kevin Durant is the best pure scorer in basketball history.
Over Michael Jordan.
Pure scoring, yes. But at every other part of the game, when you're talking the greatest player of all time, for basketball, it's MJ. And I think it's safe to say that it's Messi in soccer.
Yeah.
And if you go hockey, you go as the greatest scorer, you might say Ovechkin's the greatest pure scorer of all time.
Because he will break Gretzky's record. So, yeah.
So in basketball, it's Ronaldo to Durant, Messi to Michael Jordan. In hockey, Ronaldo to Ovechkin, Messi to
Gretzky. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely get behind that. Now, Giuseppe D'Angelo is saying AI, best pure scorer ever.
No.
He's definitely up there, though. Dude,
he absolutely
absolutely ridiculous.
He absolutely is up there. But
same with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, but Kobe, as much as I love, it's hard to say anything bad about Kobe, but he shot in so much volume. The reason that I think Kobe is out of the best pure scorer category is because no one in NBA history has shot the ball more and has missed the ball more than Kobe Bryant.
That is true.
And for Allen Iverson, there's so much else that goes into his scoring. Mm-hmm. He's just so creative. He is just so creative. And I think Giuseppe D'Angelo is absolutely correct here, comparing Iverson to Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Both of these two guys are great scorers, but their creativity with the ball is what put them in that kind of lore. And also,
that upper
their
echelon
careers could have been even better. And honestly, you could have said that Ronaldinho would be the greatest soccer player ever, and Iverson would be the greatest basketball player if they were not so hampered by injuries in the way they were.
And also getting in the way of their own careers with certain things.
Yeah, they like to talk. Let's just leave it at that. And Iverson liked to talk about practice a lot. Not the game, but practice.
Yeah, but I mean, the comparison with Messi to MJ that makes a lot of sense, because I mean the one thing that Michael Jordan did do much better than Messi has done in his career is play defense. But
yeah, but I mean that's a difference in the game. In basketball, to be great, you have to play defense. In soccer, the formation, just with the more players,
it dictates what you're able to do.
Exactly. Like if Messi,
which I don't think a lot of people understand.
No, if Messi comes back and plays defense, he's not going to be in the position to do the ridiculous things with the ball.
That one that Giuseppe just said, I 100% stand by. Pele to Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes.
Because they're both absolutely ridiculous players, but at totally different time periods of the game.
Yeah. Because Wilt Chamberlain, I mean, you can't deny the numbers that he put up. You can't deny the numbers that Pele put up. But Wilt Chamberlain's doing it in the 1960s when the only other 7-footer is Bill Russell, who, by the way,
has way more championships. Yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain is property of Bill Russell.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, there was no one who did that to Pele, but you also have to understand how great the Brazilian side was behind Pele.
Yeah.
And the other Giuseppe in the conversation made another good point. Pele never left the Brazilian league, and for as good as Brazilian has been at the international stage,
he played for the New York Cosmos?
Because that's such a step up.
No, I'm saying.
No, he did. You're right, but like he played for the Cosmos, but he never played the level of competition that Messi, Maradona, Ronaldo.
Oh no, yeah, that's my argument.
Yeah,
and
I think
he scored so many goals, but
yeah,
these dudes are doing it against the best of the best of the best.
I think that's what LaRocca. I think that's what Giuseppe LaRocca is saying. He never played the competition level that the others played, because honestly, I think the dominance of those Pele Brazilian sides in the 60s, I think that spurred the rise of football across the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're looking at an era where Uruguay had won 2 World Cups.
Yep.
And as good as Uruguay is, do we consider them a World Cup contender? No. They're just a team that's going to be in there. They're just like they're like the Denver Nuggets of the of the World Cup if we're going to keep doing that. Are they a good team? Do they have solid players? Yes.
Yeah.
Do we think they're going to win a championship anytime soon? No.
Absolutely not.
Utah Jazz might actually be an even better one. But the point is
Utah Jazz with Stockton and Malone.
Oh yeah. But I mean, the point is, I mean, there's just so much more talent in
Giuseppe said Uruguay is a dark horse, nothing more. I wouldn't even say that they're a dark horse.
Yeah, but that's the point. I mean, that was the before Pele and Brazil really just dominated and won those 3-4 World Cups. Uruguay was the title holders. Uruguay was the team that had won the majority of those World Cups.
Yeah, they were the team to overcome, and then Brazil said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, I don't think there's a better way to put it, because Brazil just put a stranglehold on soccer. Also, I'm going to have to refute Giuseppe D'Angelo here, because while scoring wise, Chamberlain was more dominant than Russell. Like, you look at the stat sheet, yes. You look at the stat sheet when Chamberlain played Bill Russell, you're going to tell a very different story. Head-to-head, Bill Russell owned Wilt Chamberlain. But the reason that people see Chamberlain as the more dominant guy is because in most sports,
the records he has.
Yeah. no one gives a crap about anything but scoring. The numbers that Bill Russell put up, his rebounding numbers were absurd as well. But it's the defense. It's the help defense. It's the fact that he was the anchor of a Celtics defense that, is honestly very comparable to those Pelé Brazilian teams in the 60s, because they were the best team in an era where there wasn't as much widespread talent as there is right now.
Yeah, because, I mean, you think about it. You look at sports over the decades. It's gone from, okay, there's like 2 teams that are really good, then 4, then 6, then 8, and then now there's just a boatload that have crazy talent everywhere.
Yeah.
But whether it makes them like competitors for a championship in whichever league they're in or not, each team has at least that one guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's really hard to honestly compare the dominance of Chamberlain and Russell because they were so different players.
That's what I think with Messi and Ronaldo as well.
Yeah. I mean, they play even when they were more common on the wings, they played on the different side. Now, Ronaldo is a goal scorer. He's like this 6'3", just like picture of physical fitness, against Messi, who's like, to quote Rudy, 5 foot nothing, weighs 100 and nothing, but he can also do some things with the soccer ball that we haven't seen since Pele or Maradona.
Yeah. I mean, he literally recreated one of Maradona's goals, literally dribble for dribble almost. Like, the dude's just unbelievable.
And
but
I mean,
speaking of one of like those guys, do we think Modric just played his last game
for Croatia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's 37. I don't think he makes it to another World Cup.
What about the Euros?
Maybe.
Because I know Ronaldo plans on playing till the next Euros.
Oh, I mean, Ronaldo's got a chip on his shoulder now because he's been thrown to the bench in Man U and now in Portugal in this World Cup, which, by the way, I think is just ridiculous. How do you bench Ronaldo, who tied for the Golden Boot in the Premier League last year?
At 37.
Like what? Like, it's not like he.
The media's had a big effect on that.
Like, I just don't know. I just don't know what happened to make Ten Hag throw him to the bench and then now make Portugal throw him to the bench. Like, where did that come from?
I think team mentality.
I think
he wants to win.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to win. There are players, though, that you can tell that he plays with, whether it is at Man U or with Portugal, that do not care about winning as much as he does.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that he's been just thrown to the bench. And everyone's just kind of writing him off now because he just keeps getting benched. And it not only cost Portugal a chance at a World Cup, but it cost all of us a chance at a Messi versus Ronaldo final.
Yeah, and I think because this is the last chance that it could happen.
Yeah. But like, you start him in that game. I don't care how good Morocco has been. All you need to do is say, "Hey, Ronaldo, Morocco hasn't allowed the opponent to score a goal yet. What's up?" He's scoring.
You start him from the first minute.
Yeah, he has that kind of.
I guarantee you, Morocco would have played completely different as well.
Yeah, it changes the game. He is a game-changing talent.
They allowed Morocco to play with a crazy amount of confidence because they knew Ronaldo wasn't playing.
Because, like,
they knew the guy that could really hurt them wasn't going to be playing.
Who is it? Palacios, the kid who got the hat trick. Whoever it was, Portugal has some good strikers without Ronaldo. Joao Felix is, I think, the next young star, but who are you scared of up front for Portugal if Ronaldo's not there? There is no one as good as your Joao Felixes and your other young guys are. There is no one that strikes fear into the hearts of opponents on Portugal other than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah,
Thank you, Giuseppe LaRocca, Gonzalo Ramos, the guy I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
But there's as talented as Portugal is, there is no one that you look in your sheet and you see Ronaldo is in the lineup. That scares you.
Yeah,
that changes how you play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And taking that out of the
he's 37 and still scares people.
Yeah. I mean, unbelievable. And the manager keeps standing by it, which doesn't make sense to me either.
Yeah, but I mean that manager is probably gonna go because I heard that the Portuguese FA are wanting to offer Jose Mourinho the job and allow him to do club and country at the same time. Which I personally think should happen. I think that he's going to be the manager of Portugal when the World Cup comes to North America anyways. So
it would be unbelievable if Ronaldo could just come back for 2026, which I don't think is going to happen, but could you imagine a Jose Mourinho-led Portugal side with Ronaldo?
He would be what, 40
to America? He'd be 41.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
But also, look at the guy. I mean, he certainly looks like he's in the shape to do it.
Mm-hmm. There's no reason not to think he could.
Yeah. I mean,
he's going to stay in that shape. It's not like he's going to be like Fat Thor and just drink a bunch of beer and stuff.
Oh my! Because I mean, the shape he's in is pretty comparable to Thor. I mean, that man is a physical specimen. Ooh, that's a hot take. If Giuseppe LaRocca said, if Mourinho wins the World Cup, he's the greatest manager ever. Period.
I agree. And I think everyone sleeps on Jose Mourinho. I think everyone does. He goes to every single club and wins something.
So does Pep Guardiola.
False. Would he not win with Bayern Munich?
He won the treble.
So what? That's Bayern Munich.
He's won 2 trebles.
That's Bayern Munich. They're the best team in Germany, hands down. Could win a Champions League there. Can't win a Champions League with billions of dollars thrown at him at Man City. But he could do it. He could do it when he had Messi. In the best midfield in the world, the best attack in the world. He could do that. Exactly. As Sean McIntyre says, respect.
Yeah.
Respect. Mourinho, everywhere he goes, success follows him.
That's fair.
First manager, I mean, it's lucky that his first season at AS Roma was when the Europa Conference League was a thing. First manager to win all 3 continental trophies in Europe.
Yeah.
And he wins everywhere he goes. Inter Milan, that's one of the worst Inter Milan sides to win something, and he won a Champions League with them.
Yeah. I also think that, I mean, the World Cup, I think, would solidify it. I think I can agree with that.
Yeah.
But
or Euros.
Yeah, but how many
Euros? The Euros is the next hardest international competition, hands down.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And how many players can say that they've won Champions League and international tournaments?
Yeah.
That's just there's so few players that do it both for club football and country.
Yeah, and then when you're a manager that's able to do that, it's like, okay, that man is the man.
And Mourinho's Portuguese, is he not?
He is.
Okay, that's what I thought. Forgive my just brain
fart
there. But to do that with his home country and to give Ronaldo that after, I mean, if Argentina plays like this, no matter who they play this weekend, it's going to be hard to keep that World Cup trophy out of Messi's hand. 5 minutes of injury time, still 3-0, and Argentina seems well on their way to the final. But
career World Cup goals, Lionel Messi is now number 1 for active players. What is scary about that? Messi has 11. He's at number 1. Thomas Muller at number 2. He has 10. Both of them retiring soon. Mbappe just got started, and he's at 9.
Yeah, Mbappe could tie that tomorrow. Like
that is what's wild. The kid is a freak on a leash. But one kid that has not had the opportunity to try it yet is Erling Haaland. What if Erling Haaland? I think Norway is going to be absolutely ridiculous in a couple of years.
Oh, they're going to be a dark
once
horse
everyone is like starts developing and whatnot, because they're producing such good talents.
So here's another hot take. When he hangs it up, Kylian Mbappe will be the greatest of all time.
You really think so?
You look at the success that he has at 22. He's already won a World Cup. He's already won everything but the Champions League in France. I mean, I'd like to see him move to a Premier League team or Real Madrid or something like that.
If he goes to Real Madrid, he won't be tested enough. But talent-wise, he won't be tested enough.
Before we continue that, we do want to Sean McIntyre brings up a good point and asks who won the jersey contest, which I keep forgetting because I'm still bitter that I didn't win the jersey contest. We launched a jersey giveaway here at Sata Soccer TV before the World Cup, and we have picked our winner. We asked you guys to subscribe and share the contest. You guys did it great, and a guy who has been very active in this chat has won the jersey. So a big congratulations to Giuseppe LaRocca.
There you go.
Big round of applause. Appreciate you being so active in our chat as well. And enjoy that brand new jersey. I'm a little bitter, but it's fine. I don't think I was eligible because I work here. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I agree with what Giuseppe, with what he said. If he stays at PSG the whole time, there's no way he is.
No,
there's not enough talent. People won't take anything seriously because I mean it's not that the French league is horrible.
No,
but there's a massive drop off from the top 4 to the French league.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because I think that La Liga has dropped off big time talent wise. I think that the Bundesliga is overtaking it. I think that Serie A has so many problems with different clubs that's now number 4, unfortunately. But I'd say top 3 leagues are the Prem, Bundesliga, and La Liga.
I think Serie A might not be as well run or organized as some of the other of the top 5 leagues, but you got to admit that the talent is right there.
The talent is unbelievable. But I think a lot of people sleep on the talent that's in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
There were 2 national teams that I think at least 40% of their national team was from the Bundesliga. They were not Germany.
Yeah.
Japan and South Korea. They have so many players over there.
Yeah.
And both of them really surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because the Japanese goalkeeper is my new spirit animal. He was unbelievable.
I mean, they were also just so clean.
Yeah. They were clinical.
Love that fan base for picking up and not making the people who work at the stadium, because as someone who's picked a bowl, granted the stadium could fit inside this stadium that they're playing right now. It's not fun. Yeah. So they need all the help they can get.
Argentina, moving on. Messi has a shot.
Messi back in the final. I know I would have liked to see Messi versus Ronaldo. And the jersey winner, Giuseppe LaRocca, with another hot take that's saying the Portuguese league is better than the French league.
I was thinking about that. Maybe.
Maybe.
I think it might, because you got Porto, Sporting, Benfica. Any of them three can win it any year, but there's only been 5 total champions ever, and those 3 are winning it more than anyone.
Yeah, but one thing that is clear: Croatia not winning the World Cup. Argentina moving on to the final. I know we kind of got off track in this match here. Appreciate you guys in the comments for helping us get off track, because we had such great fan engagement. We loved that.
Yeah,
and
this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but Messi back in the World Cup final for the second time, and for what could be the last time.
And I think that this time he has a much better opportunity because of that Sporting cast. Because you think back to when they played Germany, yes, they only lost 1-0, but that once again was a Messi show. But now Messi has Julian Alvarez and company, so it's going to be a totally different story. If come tomorrow France are the winners, it's going to be very, very tough for them to do it, but it's possible. If it's Morocco, then they definitely have a very high chance.
And you look at that Germany team in 2014. We've talked about the depth of this Argentinian side.
That team was deep.
Very took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, it was the same. They had starters on Power 5 teams coming off of their bench.
Yeah, and I mean they had Miroslav Klose just balling out. He was
World Cup goals leader.
He was 34 at the time, and he was up for another Golden Boot. Yeah, like, the dude's ridiculous. And the thing was, he was at that time he was only valued at, like, I think £5 to £7 million playing at Lazio. Like, that team was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Bastian Schweinsteiger, you got Thomas Muller, younger Thomas Muller, even though the Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos is, I think, one of the most underrated midfielders ever. He is ridiculously 100%. Good.
100%.
But like that team was just, it was so darn good. Philip Lahm, Jerome Boateng, Mats Hummels.
You could say the same thing about this Argentina side now. I mean, we saw a little bit of Paulo Dybala towards the end of that match, but I mean, he's a guy who isn't even starting.
He never has, and it's weird. It's just weird.
Like, I mean, the guys that were still left on that bench, Geronimo Rulli, number 1 in Sociedad, Lautaro Martinez, the Golden Boot winner in Serie A last year, Angel Di Maria, who in my opinion is like the most underrated player of this generation, did not play in Argentina's 3-0 win over Croatia today. That's absurd.
Yeah. Well, what I thought was crazy, Angel Correa of Atletico Madrid, I don't know if a lot of people know this, his value is £40 million. That is, he sat on the bench. I think that was his first appearance, was this game, this whole World Cup. That value is more than the entire Australian national team.
It's absurd.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So Argentina's depth is nuts. Not Germany 2014 nuts or France 2018 nuts, but it's nuts.
Well, France's depth is certainly diminished due to injury, but I mean, that's the next up. It's France or Morocco to face Lionel Messi and try and deprive him of what would 100% confirm him as the greatest of all time.
If they do play France, Mbappe and him are teammates. That would be a very, very awkward situation at PSG. That would be a very awkward situation.
That might send Messi back to Barcelona.
They don't have the money.
Yeah,
their money tree backup of their original money tree has run out. So
that's a mess for another video. But yeah, I mean, just an absolutely dominant win for Argentina here.
Yeah, they looked really good
from the get-go. I mean, Croatia had control of possession, but it was Argentina who had control of the game for minute number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it was the pen, like we mentioned at half, definitely played some sort of role in taking the game in the direction it went, because we both thought that pen decision was harsh. But there would have been a pen no matter what, because it was either that one or the one that you and I both think should have been the pen instead. So, I mean, it's...
I mean, one way or the other, I don't think there was any stopping Argentina from winning this game. And I said it, I mean, granted, I had in the original State of Soccer prediction video, I had Messi over Ronaldo, Argentina over Portugal in the final.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Argentina is just destined to win this World Cup.
I think Giuseppe D'Angelo feels a certain way about that destiny in the chat currently.
He's saying some things about PSG and Qatar right now.
Yeah, so, some conspiracy theories. He's got
that could be why. I mean,
Ashraf
Hakimi, another guy on PSG.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be why Morocco went as far as they did?
I mean, but at the same time with Morocco, they are ridiculously good for some reason.
No, they have really just caught fire at the right time. But as good as they have been, can the magic continue?
For Morocco?
Yeah. It's not magic when it's expected for France and Argentina.
That's true. I think because there's always a smaller footballing nation that does really, really well at each World Cup. And they're this year's smaller nation that's done well. If they get to a final, this will be the World Cup version of Leicester City winning the Prem. Whether they win it or not, if they get to a final of the World Cup, when they were predicted to get knocked out in the group stages, in a group that had Belgium and Croatia and Canada, which some people thought was a very, very good side and better than Morocco. This is what Hollywood writes movies about. Like, it is, the luck has to run out at some point. Is it the semifinals or not? We'll have to find out tomorrow. I personally want to see France win it again, because it has not happened in a long while. The last time a team that won it got even to the semis was in 1998.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
1998. So coincidence.
Coincidence? I think not.
I'd like to see Messi win it. I still think Messi wins it. I think the magic runs out for Morocco, though, and we see kind of a chalk final with the defending champs against Argentina.
Yeah, I think that would be phenomenal.
I do think, though, it's going to be a nail biter. I think it's going to be like a 1-0, like at the death kind of goal.
It's either going to be 1-0 or 2-1.
Yeah.
I am going to say it. I don't think Mbappe scores again.
Really?
He didn't score against England. Giroud did. And that goal by Tchouaméni. Oh, my word. Yeah. But apparently Tchouaméni and Upamecano were absent from training today and yesterday.
Yeah. So more injury problems for France potentially, but a lot to be said about that. I think that's going to be it for this stream, though. I have to get to work. So really appreciate all of you guys for joining in on this stream. Big shout outs especially to both of the Giuseppes, Giuseppe D'Angelo and Giuseppe LaRocca, and Sean McIntyre. You've been very active as well, even if you now have to move. So, yeah.
Due to Croatia losing and him losing his house.
But we'll have plenty more soccer content coming up. You can follow us on social media, bottom of the stream there. Follow me on social media, shameless plug. That's my Twitter right there.
Shameless plug.
Gormy on Twitter as well. Really appreciate you joining us for the stream as well. But before we go, we have to give a big thanks to our sponsor in GOLZ TV, because as American soccer fans, we often feel out of place in a country dominated by other sports. But recently, we have found a solution with GOLZ TV, a brand new soccer exclusive video streaming platform made for fans of this beautiful game. Finding a community with the same passion for the game as you should not be hard work, and find the content creators you enjoy without ever having to type the word soccer or football into the search bar. GOLZ is completely free to use and holds thousands of hours of soccer-related video content for you to watch. So the World Cup might come to an end at the end of the weekend, but at GOLZ, the whistle never blows. Go to golz.tv, that's GOLZ.tv, in order to watch free soccer content today. You click the link at the bottom of the stream. You can still do that once we end this stream, but want to give a big shout out to the State of Soccer team before we go. Brian McDonough has really been the architect of all of this. Really appreciate his work behind the scenes in Qatar. Makeda May spinning the ones and twos back in the studio. She has been absolutely excellent. Loved having her on our World Cup team. All of the great people that I have worked with in these World Cup streams, with the USMNT Stan, Adam Turner, Gormy over there, Jamie Lauder, Carter Houlihan, and it's just been an absolute pleasure bringing the World Cup to you guys on these State of Soccer watch-alongs. Thank you all for watching along, participating in the comment section, and everything. For all of us here at State of Soccer, we want to give you guys a big thank you and enjoy the rest of the World Cup.
Yep, could not have said that better myself.
Have a good one, everybody.